الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعد أما بعد. فعن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه قال: بينما نحن جلوس عند رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ذات يوم إذ طلع علينا رجل شديد بياض الثياب شديد سواد الشعر لا يرى عليه أثر السفر ولا يعرفه منا أحد، حتى جلس إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فأسند ركبتيه إلى ركبتيه ووضع كفيه على فخذيه وقال: يا محمد أخبرني عن الإسلام. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: الإسلام أن تشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا رسول الله وتقيم الصلاة وتؤتي الزكاة وتصوم رمضان وتحج البيت إن استطعت إليه سبيلا. قال: صدقت. فعجبنا له يسأله ويصدقه. قال: فأخبرني عن الإيمان. قال: أن تؤمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر وتؤمن بالقدر خيره وشره. قال: صدقت. قال: فأخبرني عن الإحسان. قال: أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. قال: فأخبرني عن الساعة. قال: ما المسؤول عنها بأعلم من السائل. قال: فأخبرني عن أماراتها. قال: أن تلد الأمة ربتها وأن ترى الحفاة العراة العالة رعاء الشاء يتطاولون في البنيان. ثم انطلق فلبثت مليا. ثم قال: يا عمر أتدري من السائل؟ قلت: الله ورسوله أعلم. قال: فإنه جبريل أتاكم يعلمكم دينكم. رواه مسلم. The second hadith is hadith Jibreel, one of the most beautiful hadith. Inshallah ta'ala, we take it bit by bit and go through that, inshallah ta'ala. This incident happened at the time when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has completed his Hajj and he returned back to Medina. This is one of the most comprehensive hadith that we'll find from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Qadi Iyad, the writer or the compiler of this book called Ash-Shifa, one of the greatest Maliki fiqh and spiritual master, he pointed out that this hadith covers all the aspects of inward and external acts of worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It touches upon the deeds that are related to external organs as well as that of heart, so spirituality plus juris fiqh. So it covers the religion. So hadith Jibreel, and this is also called Sunnah, as Quranic Surah Fatiha. Surah Fatiha is called, Surah Al-Fatiha is called Kitab, the mother of the foundation of the book. This hadith is called the foundation of Sunnah. So very important hadith. It covers all the outlines, as Surah Fatiha covers all the outlines in the Quran. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away in 11th year after Hijrah, and that was in Rabiul Awwal. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed Hajj in 10th year after Hijrah, 10th year after Hijrah. So Dhul Qa'dah, he left Medina for Mecca on 24th of Dhul Qa'dah, and he spent nearly a month there. And I think he roughly, according to some difference, despite differences, on 19th or whenever, from 17 to 19, he started packing back to Medina. So he must have reached Medina by the end of Dhul Hijjah. So now in Medina, he spent Muharram of the next year, which is 11th Hijrah, Safar, and then Rabiul Awwal. So this is about 75 days here, maybe 5 days of Dhul Hijjah of the last year. So 80 days or so. So roughly about that many days he spent in this world. During this time, sometime close to the end of his time, this incident took place where Jibreel personified as a human being, and he came to spend some time with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a gathering which was surrounded by all the Sahaba, most of the Sahaba, and they all witnessed this in Masjid al-Nabawi. And this incident has been recorded by Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim, many other Imams. So inshallah ta'ala, that is extremely important to go through. But today we will talk about the narrator of the hadith, the narrator who narrated the first hadith of this book, which was Innamal A'malu bin-Niyat, and the same narrator narrated this hadith. So Umar bin al-Khattab al-Faruq, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, one of the greatest of the companion. He was born in 39 years before the prophethood of Rasulullah, before Hijrah actually. So yeah, so 39 years before Hijrah. So 583 BC, Common Era. He passed away on 24th year after Hijrah. So about 2.5 years of Abu Bakr Siddiq, and then his 10 years reign as a Khalifa. He is the best men other than the prophets after Abu Bakr Siddiq, the second best. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually made dua for him. Okay. Allahumma a'izz al-Islam bi ahabbi hadhayn ar-rajulayn ilayka bi Abi Jahl aw bi Umar ibn al-Khattab. Oh Allah, support Islam from the most beloved of these two men, Abu Jahl and Umar ibn Khattab. Abu Jahl's actual name was Amr ibn Hisham. So Amr ibn Hisham or Umar ibn Khattab. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Umar, who initially obviously a very staunch enemy. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said that they were greatly strengthened by his conversion to Islam. And the Muslims, for the first time, openly prayed in Kaaba, announcing their faith. And when he migrated openly, said, anyone who wants to come and join me, I will sort him out. Anyone who wants his wife to be widowed, the children to be orphaned, come and get me and I'll sort him out. All by himself. No one dared to come to him. He participated in all the battles with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, obviously Khalifa after Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, who appointed him by his name. And he has defeated Persian and the Romans, and from Iran to Egypt was his kingdom, Islamic kingdom. He has come up with all those ideas of supporting that, like the welfare state, with the elderly, non-Muslims, even those who were the taxpayer in the early stages of their life. After retirement, when they're elderly, they'll be paid by the government, they'll be supported by the government. This postman system, the post office system, and so many different reforms that he initiated, which has now been adopted by modern world. So 530 ahadith only narrative. He was very cautious about narrations, and he wouldn't allow people to just narrate willy-nilly without having significant deliberation into it. And he was very cautious. Obviously, he knew more than that, but he only narrated the one that he was keen to, and knew that only he knew it, others wouldn't get it from someone else. And he made a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at this status of Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab, that he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, I want to die in the blessed city of your Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a martyr. Now, if you wanted to get martyrdom, you have to go out to fight enemies in the battlefield. You can't do that in Medina. Otherwise, are you asking for an attack from enemy inside Medina? Obviously not. The blessed place of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's final abode, you don't want that to be trampled over by enemies for any reason. So obviously he's not asking that, but he's asking for shahada, but in the blessed city. What did he do? He made this dua. But these are the people whose dua Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept, because they're so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is exactly what happened. So he was leading Fajr prayer. A man, Abu Lu'lu Feroz, he hid just by the Imam's place in the mihrab. And as he started leading the prayer, during his recitation, he stabbed him several times in his stomach and his chest. So obviously they got the man who actually injured many others, so he wanted to run away, but they gathered him, they captured him, and then he was kept for 3 days until Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, he passed away, because they could not keep any food down. Everything was coming out of those wounds that he had in his stomach. So obviously, if you can't even have the food inside, how could you have medicine inside? And there was no medicine in those days. So this great Imam, great, creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, greatest friends of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his vizier, he died as a martyr in Medina. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his dua. He was one of those 10 who were given the glad tidings. And now he's buried with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, next to him is Abu Bakr Siddiq, and next to him is Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu anhum ajma'in, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his best companions. So there are many virtues mentioned of Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab. I would only take few, just the ones which are specific to him. The hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, and Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said, Abdullah ibn Umar, his son, that I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, بين أنا نائم, while I was sleeping, أتيت بقدح لبن. So I was brought with a bowl of milk. فشربت, so I drank from it حتى, until إني لأرى الري يخرج في أظفاري. I saw myself drinking the milk, and I was happy, I just had enough, so that I noticed its wetness is coming out of my fingernails. ثم أتيت فضلي عمر بن الخطاب. So then I gave the rest of the milk to Umar bin Khattab. So students asked, فما أولته يا رسول الله? How would you interpret this? What is the ta'wil of this dream? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, al-ilm, means what I gave to Umar was the knowledge. So he was the greatest of the Sahaba. Like other Sahaba, he was one of the greatest ones, the top ones who had, mashallah, deep knowledge of Sharia. Another narration is about this incident, Sayyidina Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, one of the 10 companions who were given the glad tidings, the maternal uncle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Ista'dhana Umar ala Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam." He sought permission to enter in the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وعنده نساء من قريش يكلمنه ويستكثرنه عالية أصواتهن. So there were ladies in the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, some girls, they were just doing some nasheed, some singing, praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, praising Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and their voice was slightly high. فلما استأذن عمر قمنا يبتدرن الحجاب. When they heard that Umar is entering, they all started hiding away here and there. They would just start hiding away here and there. فأذن له رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم allowed him, gave the permission. So Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم يضحك while he was laughing. فقال Umar said, أضحك الله سنك يا رسول الله. May Allah keep you happy all the time, Ya Rasulullah. May Allah keep your teeth smiling all the time. That's literal meaning. May Allah keep you happy all the time. قال سيدنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, عجبت من هؤلاء اللاتي كن عندي. I was amazed by these ladies, these girls in the house. فلما سمعنا صوتك ابتدرنا الحجاب. When they heard your voice, they all hiding behind the curtains. قال عمر فأنت يا رسول الله كنت أحق أن يهبنا. ثم قال, he said, Ya Rasulullah, you are more deserving to be respected, and they should have awe and honor of you. Why did they not, show that respect to you? So then he said to these girls, أي عدوات أنفسهن, O enemy of yourselves, O ladies, enemies of yourselves, O girls, enemies of yourselves. أتهبني أتهبنني ولا تهبن رسول الله. Are you scared of me? Are you more, in awe of me than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? You do not have any respect, and that sort of awful respect that you're, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was gentle and nice. Umar was strict. قلنا نعم أنت أفضل وأغلظ من رسول الله. Yes, but you are more harsh, you're more strict than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم والذي نفسي بيده, by Allah in whose hand is my life, my soul, ما لقيك الشيطان قط سالكا فجا إلا سلك فجا غير فجك. This is the beautiful, this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then commented. O Ibn Khattab, by him in whose hand is my soul, never does shaitan find you going one way, but he would take another way. He would not be carrying on the same path as you have trodden. Because shaitan know that I can't face Umar. It's amazing. That's the biggest, comment one can have about themselves, that how shaitan even is completely, hopeless about insinuating, no expectation. So he wouldn't even waste his time. Another one, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِيمَا كَانَ قَبْلَكُم مِنَ الْأُمَمِ نَاسٌ مُحَدِّثُونَ فَإِنْ يَكُ فِي أُمَّتِي أَحَدٌ فَإِنَّهُ عُمَرٌ. That among the previous nations, there used to be people who would be inspired by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They would not profit, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would give them ilqa. They would get some inspirations from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if there was anyone in this ummah, there is someone in this ummah, and that is Umar. If there was anyone from this ummah, that would be Umar. Umar is the only one who is the one who gets inspired by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another one is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Inna Allah ja'ala al-haqq ala lisani Umar wa qalbi." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, put the haqq on the tongue and on the heart of Umar. Allah made it such that he would always say the truth. And there's certain, and based on that, there are many muwafaqat of Umar. Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala anhu has a lot of muwafaqat, which means that he would say certain things. He would say certain things. One second. He would say certain statements, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would make it a revelation. This is what muwafaqat of Umar means. So Umar Farooq would say certain things. Subhanallah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would make it a revelation, a command for believers. So one of them is as-salatu inda maqam Ibrahim. So Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala, Ya Rasulullah, why don't we make this maqam Ibrahim a place where we would do some prayers, a special prayer? This place deserves to be respected by extra prayers. Maqam of Ibrahim alayhi salam is amazing, isn't it? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in the Quran, وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى وَإِحْتِجَابُ نِسَاءِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ لِلنَّاسِ. One day he said, Ya Rasulullah, I don't like our Muslim women going out and the disbelievers walking around in the path. I don't feel that they should be showing the beauty. They should have hijab, they should have their jilbab, their khimar, their niqabs. They should cover themselves. No non-Muslim should see them, and they should be keeping themselves in a chest form. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed that, يا النبي قل لأزواجك وبناتك إن كنتن وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين يدنين عليهن من جلابيبهن. Put your coverings on top of you so that you are seen as the honorable, pious Muslims and not disturbed by anyone. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about the creation in Surah Mu'minun. So when it was revealed, so he's writing, and then the katibs are writing, the scribes are writing that down. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, we did this, and we then make you into cloth, and from cloth to sheathe them with bones, and give you the clothing of the muscles, and finally the skin and whatnot. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described all of that as it, he wrote, he says, Tabarakallahu ahsan al-khaliqeen. So how blessed is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the best of the creators, best of the one who creates. As he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed those particular ayat straight after that, saying that yes, put that as part of Quran. So it became the part of Quran. And then another incident was the Qadiyati Asra Badr. So the prisoners of Ghazwatul Badr, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, hina istishara Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Bakr wa Umar. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam consulted Abu Bakr and Umar. So Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, Ya Rasulullah, these are our family from Makkah. We've got these prisoners. Let them be free. Take fidya, ransom money from them, and release them. Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, no, rather, Ya Rasulullah, kill them all, because they have come all the way to destroy Islam, and we can't let them go because they will just plot again in future. So Rasulullah said, actually, let me just go with Abu Bakr's advice, and he opted for that. Next day, when Sayyidina Umar came to the masjid, he found Sayyidina Rasulullah and Abu Bakr sitting in the masjid and crying. He said, well, why are you crying? And let me just be part of that. I want to support you by crying. I would cry with you as a sympathy, like, showing his sympathy and love for them. He said, no, rather you should be happy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed in Quran, لولا كتاب من الله سبق لمسكم فيما أخذتم فيه عذاب عظيم. Very difficult words to even translate. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam of saying that if it was not revealed already in the Quran, we would have punished you for taking the fidya, the ransom money. Rather, you should have killed them all. But anyway, since it was allowed, so we okay that now. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was, and Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu were crying for the fact that they displeased Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accidentally without knowing it. And there was a sin. It was just two options, and both were valid, but one was better than the other. They opted for the less better. And as I said, the pious people, the top level people, elect of the elect, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expect them to do the best of the action. So since there was little, less better than the top one, they were, being, told off about this. But anyway, as I said, it's not at all a sin or a mistake. It was just a misjudgment on that situation with regards to what would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want. But anyway, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu's opinion was upheld by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this matter as well. وَمَنْعُ الصَّلَاةِ عَلَى الْمُنَافِقِينَ Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was kind and generous and so much in love with the people that he would, even for the hypocrite, go and Abdullah bin Ubay, the Ra'is al-Munafiqun, when he passed away, so his son Abdullah bin Abdullah, he came, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam consoled him and condoled him and said, okay, I would lead the prayer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Sayyidina Umar said, Ya Rasulullah, don't lead this munafiq janazah because he doesn't deserve any respect and any dua for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed that no, you should not. وَلَا تُصَلِّ عَلَىٰ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ مَاتَ أَبَدًا وَلَا تَقُمْ عَلَىٰ قَبْرِهِ. No, don't. You can't make dua for them. And إِن تَسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ 70 مَرَّةً فَلَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ. All those ayat were revealed. They say that do not go and pray for them. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam obviously then didn't, but Umar already had that idea. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired him with that, obviously. واجتمع نساء النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في الغيرة عليه فقلت أسألها. So that's another one where the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they had a little bit of jealousy among themselves with regards to her. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a little bit upset with that. So Umar radiallahu anhu said, Ya Rasulullah, if they're not behaving the way they should, then you can divorce them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would give you even better. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this in Quran as well. His own daughter was one of the wives of Rasulullah, so he actually told her off and all the other wives. What they're saying that, behave in such a way that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not discomforted by you. They were not asking anything. They just had a bit of, human tendency is that sometimes you do party a bit. So that there were two teams, one led by Sayyidah Aisha, one led by Sayyidah Salama, and they had a bit of rivalry with regards to where would Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam spend more time and he'd be happy with. So they had this special, honey, and then they started going to, go about it. But that would come in because this is mentioned in Surah Tahrim, so we would cover that inshallah if we get to that point. But anyway, so these and a few, some Imams mentioned about 30 muwafaqat of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu. So such is the station of our blessed companion. Now, no one should think that, does it mean that he had more understanding of certain things? No, not at all. Then Abu Bakr or Na'udhu Billah Rasulullah, not at all, by any chance. These are only few examples where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it such that Allah helped him see it, and he just saw it. And that is actually a favor upon him through the mercy of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everything, every benefit that any ummati has is actually done for the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, showing how much we love our Prophet, that some of his students have achieved that level. So this is actually minister of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, trained by him. And this same Umar, before Islam, was so weak and frail in that decision making that he said that I would be slapped by my father Khattab, saying that, oh Umar, you can't even control a few camels. You can't even herd them properly. So such is my status. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, through Islam, through the teaching and training of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, allowed me to be even controlling 3 continents. And he could do that. And that's a training of Rasulullah. So all of that is actually a favor of, or the blessing and the merit of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So obviously, so you don't get that, at all in your mind that perhaps it was like this. And there are many slips as well that are reported. For example, at the time of Sulh Hudaybiyah, he actually didn't get it right. So then Abu Bakr Siddiq had to literally, shake him to say, what are you saying? And like at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam departure, he got completely out of control. He didn't have a clue what he was talking about. And then Abu Bakr Siddiq had to sort it out. Likewise, when they were going against the people who rejected to pay the zakat to Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, he didn't get it right. Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq had to make it. In fact, he used the words, the word exactly were, so you were more, strong and you more, courageous in the time of Jahiliyyah than you are now as Muslim. This was a أخواركم أخوار في الجاهلية, something for أخوار في الإسلام. Some words to the effect, I can't remember exactly. I don't want to say it, inshallah ta'ala. But yeah, so this is what he said. You were more courageous. Now you're showing your weakness. He was very, this is how. So yes, so this is Umar bin Khattab, greatest of the companions. May Allah bless his soul and continues to learn from his wisdom, his fiqh. He's amazing, mashallah. So we'll go through the hadith next time.